not a dream. Not a dream. We are using your brain's electrical system as a receiver. We are unable to transmit through conscious neural interference. You are receiving this broadcast as a dream. We are transmitting from the year 1999. You are receiving this broadcast in order to alter the events you are seeing. Our technology has now developed a transmitter strong enough to reach your conscious state of awareness. But this is not a dream. You are seeing what is actually occurring for the purpose of causality violation. This broadcast will be received by the perceptual centers as a dream. But this is not a dream. This is not a dream. Not a dream. We are using your brain's electrical system as a receiver. We are unable to transmit through conscious neural interference. You are receiving this broadcast as a dream. We are transmitting from the year 1999. You are receiving this broadcast in order to alter the events you are seeing. Our technology has now developed a transmitter strong enough to reach your conscious state of awareness. But this is not a dream. You are seeing what is actually occurring for the purpose of causality violation. This broadcast will be received by the perceptual centers as a dream. But this is not a dream. This is not a dream. Not a dream. We are using your brain's electrical system as a receiver. We are unable to transmit through conscious neural interference. You are receiving this broadcast as a dream. We are transmitting from the year 1999. You are receiving this broadcast in order to alter the events you are seeing. Our technology has now developed a transmitter strong enough to reach your conscious state of awareness. But this is not a dream. You are seeing what is actually occurring for the purpose of causality violation. This broadcast will be received by the perceptual centers as a dream. But this is not a dream. This is not a dream. Not a dream. We are using your brain's electrical system as a receiver. We are unable to transmit through conscious neural interference. You are receiving this broadcast as a dream. We are transmitting from the year 1999. You are receiving this broadcast in order to alter the events you are seeing. Our technology has now developed a transmitter strong enough to reach your conscious state of awareness. But this is not a dream. You are seeing what is actually occurring for the purpose of causality violation. This broadcast will be received by the perceptual centers as a dream. But this is not a dream. This is not a dream. Not a dream. We are using your brain's electrical system as a receiver. We are unable to transmit through conscious neural interference. You are receiving this broadcast as a dream. We are transmitting from the year 1999. You are receiving this broadcast in order to alter the events you are seeing. Our technology has now developed a transmitter strong enough to reach your conscious state of awareness. But this is not a dream. You are seeing what is actually occurring for the purpose of causality violation. This broadcast will be received by the perceptual centers as a dream. But this is not a dream.
Hello? You guys hear me okay? Okay. Looks like it's working. All right. Is it really only two of you here? That's wild. That's slow even for me. Especially on a Saturday. Something happened? No, not that I imagine. Well, a lot of the people will listen to my ass watching it, but I think the World Series was yesterday, right, or something. I don't think there's any big events. Huh. Just weird for a Saturday, unless OBS is lying to me again, which it probably is, or maybe just the theme was just like boring, which might be the case. It's not high-minded enough. Yeah, I've had a particularly tough week. Just a bunch of stuff going on, things happening left and right, which is just a mess. Just a mess, and I've been a mess. So like coming up with some kind of like super deep uh, shit to discuss today, or cover, was just not in the works at the moment. You know how those days be sometimes. You know how those days be. Why is it? Yeah. But I do have because last stream somebody mentioned like, oh, that they wanted me to talk about movies and stuff, and that was interesting. So I figure something like film is something that I can sort of talk about pretty casually, pretty easily. Um, and if you haven't watched me before, I tend to just kind of jump from thing to thing because it's a combination of the ADHD and the sort of more loose associative style, macro associative thinking I do. So like as soon as like someone says a word or says something in relation to something else, like it'll trigger stuff in my brain to like want to talk about that thing, or like things that are kind of disparate, seemingly disparate. Like I'll just recall like information about things associated with it that aren't like directly associated, usually, not always, but sometimes. Kind of like if I was listening to a song and there's like a part in it that sounds like something else, and then I'll think about that, and then I'll think about the things associated with that, and like it just kind of goes from there a lot of the time. And I thought I would do that today with movies and discussion with that. I'm still tripping that there's only two people. Like I said, that's weird. That's weird for a Saturday. When I do like a Thursday one, yeah, it'll start like that. But for a Saturday, that's really strange. Really strange. Hmm. Now it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna be like rambling about stuff anyway, so ain't nobody gonna miss anything. It's anything major. I don't know, unless they're into film. In which case, maybe this would be a really good one for them to watch. So all right, let me mute this music now. So, I wanted to kind of watch like some of those, like, you know, sometimes they're cheesy, but they're like, oh, top 25 this, top 25 that. And then you guys in chat could bring up other things, or maybe the stuff I haven't seen or I forgot about. You know, we just go back and forth, just have a grand old time for the next hour. Um, Kind of going over this stuff. What is that? Nothing. It's nothing. So let me get this moving here. So I'm using like a guest account for this, because I want to see you know, a somewhat algorithm free set of searches for stuff that you guys asked me about. I just wanted to see how it turns out. And it's like, you know, somehow already. And I just put like best movies, and it like gave me this top 25 must see horror films. Oh, yeah. My channel called AVA Pop Culture or something. I've never heard of it. But what I didn't want to like just watch the video. That's not what I want to do today. It's not really about the video. It's about like what stuff will pop into my head, I guess. And want to discuss regarding this topic. So I'll probably be like scrolling through, skipping sections, pausing on occasion. It's not like I said, I don't even know if this video is any good. I just saw that it's claiming these are the 25 best horror films, and I'm pretty sure, like, I can imagine already which ones are in there, but I doubt there's any surprises. And there might be missing ones, which is kind of crazy. But yeah.
You know, there are all kinds of horror movies. Big budget, slick productions, icon-led franchises, haunted houses, B-movie creature features, and everything in between. But then
Yeah, like I could name all four of those movies.
there are other
I think the one that most people would probably not recognize right away is Fright Night, which was the last one.
horror movies
Like a really fun vampire film, really 80s, really goofy, but
that stand above. Tonight, we're not talking about the
it's all for you, Damien.
underseen, the little
Love that
known,
song.
or the obscure. Get ready, because we are diving into the 25 essential
25.
must-see horror movies.
Oh, okay. I figured
of all
Exorcist
time.
needed to be in
So
there.
pop that tape in.
Be
I
goofy
got
if it
you.
doesn't.
Let's go do this.
All
Right, so
what do
the
we got?
25 horror movies,
All right, let's see the first one.
1996's Scream.
Scream. Okay.
Wes Craven didn't just resurrect the slasher, he performed CPR on it with a wink at the audience. Scream turned horror
Yeah, Scream was nice because it was sort of catered to the horror audience to begin with, right? Like, what made it interesting to me is it kind of stood on its own as like a really solid kind of slasher / mystery. Like, the story was cool, the acting sometimes a little over the top, but you know, for what it is, like, who cares? The character dynamics were solid. The reveal was pretty awesome. And it also kind of threw a lot of love out there to people that were probably there as, you know, just a person that already watches that kind of stuff. So it kind of stood like it wasn't just a movie for people that liked horror movies or slashers in particular. And it was a little more intelligent than your average slasher, which was really nice. The sequels, the problem was that the idea of the first film was to kind of do this cool, really fun subversion of like a lot of the tropes, because that's essentially what's happening in this movie.
cliches into weapons.
Yeah.
They winked at the audience. It gave us a mass killer who quoted Halloween
Yeah.
and made Ghostface an icon, just like Freddy, Jason, or others before him.
Ghostface was
About on
solid,
that
and
level.
now it's just like a meme, like everyone's seen it, and it's just goofy. But what a great mask! I'm pretty sure it was originally designed for that movie. I don't think it was just some random mask that they put together, but I'm not
It's
sure.
meta before meta got annoying. It's sharp, funny,
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
scary.
that's that's
The
that's
horror
that's what's interesting. It's meta before meta got annoying. They got a really good point there, because yeah, a lot of meta just kind of like everyone wanted to break the fourth wall the fucking time for a while, but I'm glad that some of that shit's slowing down. You can do it, but do it like
learned to
intelligently.
laugh at itself with this one, and it is a great film that holds up today. Scream.
Calafia organic almond milk.
Oh, well,
Irresistibly
that's what I
good.
get for
With just almonds,
using a guest account. Now I got commercials. It's not beautiful. Um, I'll skip ahead on this one. But if anybody has any thoughts or questions about some of the movies that get
Before
brought
we
up or that I talk about, I am more than happy to talk about this shit. It is my one of my special interests, if you will. I have more fun talking about horror movies than I think most people. um, and also, I have more fun doing that than, like, I don't know. Sometimes it's more fun than actually watching one in a crazy way, discussing one. But
go way back to 1944
The Uninvited.
with The Uninvited.
Mhm.
This is old school haunted house ghost story
Yeah, super.
perfection, and it's here because without it, you don't have The Haunting, The Others, Crimson Peak, none of that stuff.
Yeah,
You don't
basically inspired every single type of stuff like Sixth Sense and anything where it was like, oh, like a mystery that involves a ghost, right? Some kind of what's the word? Um, Suspense film, like ghost suspense film, right? Where there's one of my favorite ghost suspense films ever made was Stir of Echoes. If you've never seen it, it's very, very good. There are a few parts that are a little campy, but very good movie. Kevin Bacon is the lead, but awesome combination of suspense and a ghost story. And it did a really good job with actually having like decent horror elements mixed in there, right? Another good example would be like from, if we're talking like, was it early 2000s or late 90s? No, I think it's, but What Lies Beneath. Very great movie. More suspense than like a haunting film, but a really good job of kind of mixing that shit together. Like the whole sort of like a whodunit murder mystery kind of shit mixed with like paranormal elements. Yeah, I mean, he's right. This is like one of the earliest like sort of stories where you're unravelings. The characters are unraveling some kind of mystery in association with the hunter. So yeah, that's why you mentioned the Others, but I would say Others was all right. Others was all right. I liked it. Crimson Peak was all right, but it's a tried and true thing, but it's kind of been overdone a lot. So like the whole like, oh, it was a ghost the whole time, or oh, it was because some horrible traumatic thing happened because the ghosts, right? um a movie that mixed in those types of elements but also comedy, and I really like it, is called Frighteners. If you've never seen Frighteners, also a fun one with Michael J. Fox, I think. It's funny, holds up pretty well, jokes are solid, the horror elements are cool. It involves like a mystery. Yeah.
even maybe have haunted house movies the way we know it
What
because
else we got?
before this movie,
Oh yeah,
sequels and
Amityville. Oh yeah.
remakes, it brought suburban horror home. The true story element added so much to it.
Mhm.
The acting here with James Brolin and Margot Kidder,
Yeah, he was great.
very good. No cast
The scene that like most people remember from it is, if you've never seen it, it's a scene where they have a priest come, because it's like super loosely based on the actual Amityville home and all the crazy shit that went down there. Because that's, if you don't know the true story behind that, check it out. There's but it's super loosely. It's not this. like when people saw this movie, they thought it was like the true story about Amityville, but it kind of got some of it just got a lot of the claims that were being made about the home, and the issue of the murders that happened there and everything, and how it supposedly involved demonic possession and like all this stuff, right? And so they got a lot of that stuff and the rumors, and they kind of just turned it into its own little story and film. But there's a scene where they invite a priest over to try to exorcise the place or whatever, and like he ends up hearing like buzzing weird sounds like through a vent in the home, and then like he just hears like a voice, and like I think that one stayed with a lot of people because the movie doesn't have like a ton. It isn't like Poltergeist, right, where it relied heavily on special effects and like big scares and stuff. It was more subtle, slightly more subtle. It relied more on like psychological tension. But that jump scare in that sequence is like the big one, I guess, where the like he hears like the priest hears like some kind of voice or sound coming out of the vents, and he like goes up to it. He's got his crucifix, and you just hear the like a demonic get out, and then like the vent comes off, and a bunch of just fucking flies, like Beelzebub style, just fucking flies, just like go all over. Yeah, that sequence is really cool. But if you want to see something that involves like the haunted home, but with like way more over the top shit going on, Poltergeist. I'm not gonna. I'll be surprised if it isn't on here. Poltergeist is a really great movie for a lot of reasons. If it comes up, I'll discuss why.
No monsters, just a cursed demonic house with a gateway to hell, all that thrown in extra with a true story label. Pure mythology around this one made it iconic and legendary and infamous, the Amityville Horror.
Yeah, unfortunately it also spawned a bunch of really bad sequels, like a really terrible sequels. This is commercial, but the sequels are just fuck. Like they were just trying to cash in on like the popularity of the first film, and they started doing more and more shit, like trying to be like Poltergeist later, like they more obvious overt special effects and like just goofy shit that just didn't work for the kind of movie that the original was.
Oozes his enthusiasm, blood,
Dead.
and whatever sticky stuff they could get on the cabin floor and on people. It's raw, relentless, risky. It made Bruce Campbell into a...
So with Evil Dead, for those that don't know, all you horror peeps probably will know for sure, but just saying it for those that maybe are Zoomers or aren't as familiar with some of these things. With Evil Dead, what was interesting, Sam Raimi, right? Yeah, Bruce Campbell, hold up. Is that the first movie was actually intended to be scary, right? It was supposed to be like pretty over the top, like in gore and all this stuff. But the goal was to actually make it like it was supposed to be like an intense movie, like Ed Scare. You could see how it plays out. Like it plays out like a scary film, like with like cheap effects and everything, right? But the intent was to like cause like fear, right, in the viewer, and it experimented with all kinds of crazy cinematography and shit like that. But the movie was so just fucking batshit crazy that most people that watched it thought they were in it for just like the crazy gore, or they thought it was hilarious, like that it was just a bunch of dark humor, right? And it does have elements of that in there, but they weren't as like hyper focused as they were in the sequels. But I love the first Evil Dead because it wasn't self-aware yet as much as the part two. And don't get me wrong, Evil Dead 2 is amazing on its own, but it's like a different breed, it's like a different monster. And they're really great for very different reasons. But with Evil Dead 2, they essentially kind of retconned the first one and made it like, oh, okay, well, fuck it, we're just gonna make it funny now. Like it's gonna be gory and insane, but it's gonna be like more slapstick, more just way more campy, way more over the top, better effects, way more experimental with like a bunch of shit. yeah, the shooting of that movie is crazy if you ever watch behind the scenes of that one. And then came Army of Darkness with the third one, and Army of Darkness has a lot of really fun writing. It's not a horror movie. You could still call Evil Dead 2 a horror movie. Army of Darkness is more of a adventure film with horror elements, like horror adventure comedy. Solid, but something about how much they pulled back on the gore that the second one had was disappointing, because that's what made it funny. Like, because it was so much blood. Like, it was just insane, stupid, absurd amounts of blood in Evil Dead 2. Like, to the point where, like, you couldn't even, like, take it seriously. And that was the intent. But
a B movie.
Who's here?
God, the drive-in equivalent of a punk rock concert. This one was horror, breaking all the rules the right way. Here's tragic
Wolfman.
Larry Talbot. He's the ultimate monster with a soul, cursed.
Did some really cool stuff with like early sort of like film magic, like where they showed his transformation, but they were just like essentially like layering like different like it's almost like the progress of the makeup effects and everything, so that it looked like it was like a transformation. By today's standards, you could totally tell, like, but it was interesting because I think other movies had tried it, but the Wolfman did a really good job with that, with the like this whole like
You've got the fog
the way it's doing
set.
it. Yeah, see, because it was just like it's a still image, but like it made it look like the fur was coming
in a
out.
curse that doubles as metaphor for addiction, guilt, identity, anything you want to throw on it.
That's what's so crazy. People just do, like, non-horror movie fans, like that, like they don't understand. Like, a lot of these fucking stories have so much fucking depth. It's just a lot of metaphor, right, for a bunch of shit. Like, because good horror isn't about just jump scares and shit. Good horror is about exploring a psychological concept, idea, and then using metaphor, right? Something that just sounds really scary, right? Like the idea of losing oneself to something, turning into something that is not human, becoming more animal than human, that fine line, all that shit is kind of being fucked with when we're talking about Wolfman.
But without this film, there's no American Werewolf, no The Howling, no empathy for monsters, really, particularly werewolves that are very animalistic. The Wolfman.
Yeah, that's what's cool about, like, especially Frankenstein and Wolfman. It's just like, it was breathing like emotion, like, into the horror genre, right? Where a lot of these movies, when they did appear, it's just, oh, monster of the week, he's coming out of the water, oh, scary, right? But they actually had a little bit of nuance. Like, it was supposed to be like, you feel fucking bad for this guy, you feel fucking bad for Frankenstein's monster. Like, it's just like you're like, damn, that's a fucked up situation to be in. That's how you're supposed to experience those movies. Dracula's a little bit different. You're supposed to be more like worrying for Jonathan, right?
So much atmosphere, so much well done.
All right, what else we
What's
got?
my favorite thing about the
You know
fall
what?
season?
I'm gonna have to like ads. Well, the ads just give me a chance to like ramble, so it's fine. So I'm curious, like, who's here? There's like 5 of you here, but I don't see anyone typing, so I'm wondering if you're regulars or what have you. Is anybody here a horror fan or nah? Or just a movie fan, maybe?
Is proof that old school.
Because I can talk about all kinds of movies. I just like talking about horror the most. But I do westerns. I can do kung fu flicks, like all kinds of shit.
Still work in
a lot of genre. I'm into genre films. Like I respect like some of the dramas and things like that, like more real life type. But genre films, sometimes some people see it as schlock. Like there's beautiful stuff in it.
CGI world, you don't need it, right? James Wan nailed the retro tone, long, painfully spooky takes, creaky floors.
Yeah, it was Conjuring was great. It sucks what happens, you know, with all that kind of shit. It was like another sort of like successful Amityville type situation where you got the Ed and Lorraine Warren, you know, uh, stories and those were like literally like those are people that were also involved with you know, a lot of that Amityville stuff, the situation, investigating it, all that kind of shit. You know, say what you will about Ed and Lorraine Warren, like you know, some people just think they're completely fucking bullshitters, or were. I think Lorraine's still alive, but I don't remember. And oh, okay, cool, Xanathus. But yeah, there was some like weird stuff there. There was some like weird kind of like dishonest shit mixed in with like what seemed to be like legitimate concern on their part. I don't think they were just complete grifters or anything. Um, I'm not fully convinced of that, but I don't know. But in any case, yeah, this is just another story, right? And so they started doing the sequels to this. You know, I don't know if you've seen like Annabelle, The Nun, and it's just, yeah, it just got really fucking goofy, right? Because they just started getting some of the stories that Ed and Lorraine had like talked about before, experiences they've had with like things like this, and then they just tried to like cash in on it, and it's just like, man. But with The Conjuring, the first one was great because there wasn't a franchise yet. Like there was nothing, right? This was just a fucking shot in the dark movie. They're like, we're gonna make a scary fucking family haunted house movie, and I believe it was, I can't remember if it was PG-13 or rated R, but man, they had some fucking fire sequences in there. Like they kind of showed it with the clapping hands, because there's like she's like clapping because they're doing that game where, you know, you clap and then they clap and then you clap and then they clap, and that's so like you could find the person, but you're like looking for them in the dark, and yeah, like these hands come out from behind me. Yeah, and it's like, you know, when she was following a distant clap, and then just hands to go back into the darkness. You know, shit like that's really cool. They had a really good possession scene, a really cool, crazy exorcism scene, pretty intense shit, cool ass effects. Yeah, yeah, Conjuring's
No
fun.
jump scares, really.
Yeah.
No blood, no nudity, no yelling foul language. Just R-rated horror based on scares alone. It launched a franchise. This one's kind of like The
I think
Exorcist
the only reason it was like R-rated is because of some of the like imagery that would pop up, like people hanging and shit like that.
meets Poltergeist. One of the few legit franchise starters we've had. It has to be
It
on.
was cool because the Annabelle situation, right? Annabelle, if you've seen the fucking shitty movies all over the place, I don't like what they did with the doll, but I guess this made it make it scary because the original Annabelle is like a Raggedy Ann doll. It doesn't look like that at all. But the way they included the Annabelle story in the movie was really cool because it was just kind of like a little sequence. It was almost like a short film, right? It was like a short film within the film, when about like Ed and Lorraine kind of talking about their experiences with the doll or something, and then it just kind of moves on from there. It was just kind of like a taste, like a little filler thing, right, to kind of set the mood for the movie in many ways. And it sucks. It sucks that it turned into like its own fucking movies, and it's just like
On this list.
always
It comes
happens.
in at
Let capitalism just be ruining shit, man.
number 20.
Oh yeah, we'll sell it again. Oh yeah, let's fucking throw Annabelle in fucking 5 movies and shit. It's like, man.
Now, at number 19, we have 1981's An American Werewolf
Mm-hmm.
in London.
Fun.
This is the gold standard for mixing horror and humor. You got John Landis behind the camera, and you got
John
Rick
Landis,
Baker's
man, like he didn't die. You know, he's renowned for making this movie, but like, goddamn, I can't even name very many John Landis films that are good, that are horror films. Like, maybe I'm crazy or I'm thinking of the wrong purpose, but yeah, I mean, he had American Werewolf, and then like, then what? I remember there was a series called Masters of Horror, which I loved, because what they did is they got a bunch of directors, famous directors from different like genres of horror, right? That have created like certain like masterpiece films or whatever. And then they told them, here's a budget. I think it was like, I forgot how much they gave them, but they gave them a budget, and then they gave them, and they needed to make a 1 hour movie, like 1 hour or less movie. And you know, we're talking people like uh everything from like, you know, we're talking like Romero and Dante and Lucio Fulci and I think Argento as well, and like all these guys, right? And one of them was John Landis. And I remember, man, his movie fucking sucked. Like, let me remember what it was called. It was so fucking bad. Let me see here. Oh, so bright. Masters of Horror. Or John Landis. Yeah, Dear Woman. Oh, it was so fucking bad. What a terrible fucking movie. That was really fucking bad, dude. That one was just like, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. It was trying to be like folk horror or something, but ugh. Oh yeah, and that family movie too. Ugh, God, it was a little bit better, but it was better than Dear Woman. Dear Woman's absolute dog shit. Yeah, Don Coscarelli. Yeah, and there was like a few really good ones too. Like if you want to actually watch good, like they were fucking incredible. Some of them. Let me see if it brings up the list. Oh, this is from, oh yeah, here. Fair Hair Child, William Malone. That was a fun fucking movie. Fair Hair Child was pretty cool. A little cheesy some parts, but still fun. The best ones though that came out of that one was all right. Incident on Off Mountain Road. It's all right. It's all right. But the best ones that came out of there were Jennifer. Jennifer was fucking crazy. Great, disgusting movie, but really great. Argento fucking out of the park with that one. He went ham. Yeah, here's the original cover, which I like better. Um, I don't really want to tell you what it's about, but like, don't watch it. Don't watch it with your mom. It's got some weird, fucked up, erotic scene things. Um, the other one that came out of there that was really good was, in my opinion, the best one was Cigarette Burns, which the fucking king John Carpenter did. Let's see here. Why doesn't it just list it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, John Carpenter. Yep. Cigarette Burns is fucking awesome. Really good shit. For those that like Japanese horror, you also had Takashi Miike do a movie called Imprint. That one, I don't think that aired on television. I think, or they edited it out or something. But I think they didn't air it on television because it was just gruesome and crazy. Because it's Miike. I mean, they call him the rabid dog of cinema for a reason. And he just went fucking crazy with it. And it's violent. It's vile. It's confusing. Yeah. Yeah, Imprint. And it was during the height of his like popularity here in the States. And shit like that. Yeah, Imprint was something. I wouldn't say it's his best, but here, this was Cigarette Burns. You guys need to watch that. Burns. You need to watch this movie. Yes. John Carpenter outdid themselves with this movie. In my opinion. And the entire concept and idea of it is fucking horrifying. And it has a lot of depth if you dig like into what the fuck is going on. It's a pretty insane movie. Oh, you know who's in it? I don't really normally care about actors and stuff, but it's got fucking oh fuck yeah Walking Dead guy. You know, the guy everyone likes. Was it his name Daryl or something? Hey. All right, is that who I'm thinking of? Yeah. Yeah, that guy. There he is. Look, that's him. Yeah, he was great. He's great in it. Old the Jubble. Younger, too. But anyway.
Transformation
I told you I was just
scene
going to ramble.
that still has not been topped. It's still talked about to this day.
Yeah, I like the transformation scene. Another one I would put up there with, as far as werewolf films go, would be The Howling. The Howling had a very fucking good transformation scene. The sequels, they just all became a bunch of like weird thirst trap movies with just a bunch of sex and stuff, and they sucked. The first Howling was great, and that sequence was disgusting. They did a really gross transformation for that one.
Day at Universal Studios,
Werewolf in London made it look fucking painful.
Florida, in their makeup shop because of how it was done.
Yeah,
it's a love letter to both Universal monsters and maybe
it looks so painful, the transformation in American Werewolf. Like, and it also had one of the most insane sequences ever. There's like a dream sequence in it that is batshit crazy and has nothing to do with the plot. It was just like, again, it was like a weird little short film. Like, you'd have to see it for yourself. It's like the craziest fucking nightmare that somebody has, and it was just that. It was just a nightmare.
Little Hammer horror in there and modern horror. So well done. Yeah. It has to be.
Oh, it looked horrible, dude. Like, the transformation sequences just look like they really sold the whole, like, his bones, his body, like his whole, like, the structure of his fucking body is just like bones are crackling. He's just screaming. It's crazy shit.
It comes in at 19.
Yeah. Oh, another ad. I can mute. I don't know. People want me to talk about. This is what I do. I don't got a script. This is my stupid brain. Just I don't know. I forget about all this shit. Like, I don't actively think about any of this shit. And I don't know why I collect this information in my brain. Like, it's just like all these bits and pieces of stuff.
Now at 18, we have a tie because to me, The Lost Boys,
Fright Night,
Fright Night.
Because the good. 80s, I like Fright Night better. I thought it had more fun stuff in it. Lost Boys is just more famous because, you know, it has Kiefer Sutherland and all that shit. It had a really cool soundtrack and everything. Very, very 80s vibe. Fright Night is campier, but it just had so many fun sequences.
He's made vampires cool again.
Yeah.
You have The Lost Boys, which is MTV meets monster movie with a killer soundtrack. But it is also like an 80s time capsule with the two Coreys and Kiefer Sutherland. Legitimately scary here. Joel Schumacher behind the camera. There's scary epical of
that's good.
And you've got the whole like suburban horror and universal horror homages in this thing. These two are forever tied together in my mind, and they both belong on this list.
Fright Night had more like gross out moments and shit like that.
They occupy a spot together at 18. Now,
what else we got?
And so
Black Christmas. All right. Yeah. Black Christmas is fine. It's a slasher movie, but like early, like, you know, like the sort of like a very early kind of slasher film. What made it fun was like the kind of like the dramatic tension that existed between some of the characters and stuff. And that, like, you know, and also the sequences of like I think if I remember correctly, there's like POVs of like through the vision of the killer and stuff. It was interesting.
This movie, maybe you don't get Halloween or Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Bob Clark's Canadian masterpiece here, Canucksploitation, you could maybe call it, mixes sorority house slayings with unnerving phone calls. They're legitimately unnerving.
It's creepy. He's like it's just like this weird, like sleazy vibe to it. It just makes it that much more like just ugh.
Subtle, but it's very mean and very way ahead of its time. It's a proto slasher.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If anything, if you want the most proto of slashers would be like giallo films, essentially, like inspired American slashers. things like that.
Paved the way for others, and it deserves your respect. It comes in at 17. Now, at number 16, Hammer Films brought
Oh yeah, Horror of Dracula.
color and blood to
It's
the
fun.
Gothic era, and
Christopher Lee, you know, fucking oh my god, Saruman, right? Saruman.
Christopher Lee's
Over the top, great acting, very theatrical.
Dracula
shit.
in this is pure menace, all
Yeah, it's
aristocratic
diabolical as
charm
fuck.
and feral energy. The looks on his face are iconic. This one is
It was so good because Lee really sold switching between like being this aristocrat with class and like calm and you know and then just like showing the more bestial side of Dracula.
horror with class, red velvet, stone corridors, technicolor blood and terror.
The craziest
Hammer
faces.
has to be mentioned in any list like this. Horror of Dracula represents us here at number 16.
Yeah, good one.
Creep
Good one.
Show.
Creep Show is fun. If for those that are familiar with things like Tales from the Crypt, very much took a page out of those types of things. There was Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt. I can't remember the third one right now. It's like brain farting on it. But yeah, they were really great comics. What's interesting is that like a lot of these you know 80s, 90s like really gory, really over the top, sometimes campy movies. There was the Tales from the Crypt, there was Vault of Horror, and the Catacombs, or I forgot. But point is, they were comic books, right? They were comic books. They were violent. They were crazy. If you want a collection, they're very expensive. The art was solid. Let's see. Yeah, it's EC Comics. There we go. Yeah. Good shit. Awesome covers. What made it interesting is they were comic books, but they had a host. So yeah, there was the Crypt of Terror, the Vault of Horror, and the Haunt of Fear. But then yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm mixing it up. Tales from the Crypt involved 3 hosts, and in the comics, they essentially behaved. If you ever seen Tales from the Crypt, like the Crypt Keeper, they would be like he wasn't like a skeletal and shit. He was it was the Crypt Keeper, the Vault Keeper, and the Old Witch. And they would have like a page at the beginning of each story where like that character would be like, it's time to tell you a tale, and like, you know, and it would have like these little like vignettes, right, with just them, and then it would go into like the actual story, and then usually it would end with the respective host of that story like making a joke or some dark humor or kind of, yeah, it's good shit. I had these books too. These were great. These were different these were adaptations like for like younger people of like some of the Tales from the Crypt stories, but like in, you know, reading non-comic format, and they were actually quite good. Yeah, these are newer ones, but the old ones, man. EC Archives, this shit was awesome. And then you would have different artists and stuff. So what was cool is you had a lot of really like early fucking awesome horror artists, and some of these stories were just like wild for their time. Oh, this is a later one. That's something else. There we go. I love this cover. That's a fucking great one. But yeah, like these comics were part of the reason you had like the outrage over comic books, and oh, they rot your brain and they're bad and they're trash, and like parents were like against comics, and there was this whole pushback against comic books because they were violent. It was like the early like video games, you know. It was like, oh, you read comic books, it's gonna you know, make you crazy, or like make you do fucked up shit, or like ruin your life and dumb crap like that. These are just well, people are doing like new stuff. Yeah, it was like so fun. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, they come in black and white and shit like that. I'm just loving some of these covers. Yeah, see, that's OG Crypt Keeper. Mm-hmm. It's just fun, man. I was looking for a page. I was hoping to see a page where it shows like the introduction. Yeah, it'd be stuff like that. Poor Duncan. He wants so much to eat something. Oh, he doesn't know what it is that he wants. You know, it's just like fun shit. Anyway, there's my homeboy. The redesign of the Crypt Keeper for the HBO series was fucking genius. This right here, this fucking guy, that fucking puppet was fucking a stroke of genius. Stroke of fucking genius. Look, this design, so fucking rad, dude. And the puppet looked great. Yeah, see? It's almost like a zombified dead version of the original comic book Crypt Keeper. I don't know if that's like part of the lore or what, but like he was funny as fuck. He'd say just like absurd shit. They made him just do all kinds of goofy crap, but he would always pull it off. And the voice actor for him isn't just, man, out of the park. That laugh, the iconic laugh, if you've never heard it, um, incredible shit. Let me see here. Honestly, some of you are older. You probably know exactly what this stuff is, but if you're not familiar with it, well, you're welcome that I'm showing you about this stuff. Everyone's just leaving. They're like, this fucking boomer talking about old horror movies and shit. Is this, let me see. I'm trying to find the original. In the music. Oh, fire. Yeah, there we go. Oh, fucking ass, man. Oh my god, I forgot about mentioning the most important thing I'm supposed to talk about today. I got so caught up in this. You know what? I'm gonna have to bring it up again next stream, but really quick, for those that watch this as a VOD, I should have said this at the beginning. I'm fucking dumb. I have a new server. I have the Schizoid support server still around. That will never go anywhere. At least, you know, one hopes. And there is also another server called the Angsty Divergent, right? So that one's more focused and connected to the channel, but it's kind of more of a discussion server that focuses on various things, and the rules are kind of centered around the idea of having good faith sort of conversations and shit like that about subjects that sometimes are, you know, could be difficult, or, you know, right now it's a little dead, but it's a new server. It always starts off that way. It just takes a few people posting some shit, getting some discussion going, and then people feeling comfortable enough to start posting and stuff like that. But what I was going to say is that I am going to need at least one dev and 2 mods for that server. And I should have said this at the beginning. But if anybody is interested that is listening to this or that listens to this later, you can DM me. You can, especially like, especially if you've already familiar with modding, or you've modded before a server, or you've like dev'd, you know how to dev for Discord stuff, and you know, do general upkeep for things or bots and shit like that. For the dev side, for the mod side, it's more somebody that reads the rules, kind of knows a little bit about how I'm about shit. You know, they don't have to watch my channel all the time or anything, but and knows kind of like a little bit about like where I come from, like this idea of kind of just facilitating good faith conversation and discussion and stuff. I'm not saying, you know, well, things won't get heated sometimes, whatever, but I want to see that kind of shit. I want to see what happens, especially when you get a bunch of like neurodivergent people, right? Which I feel like the people that watch my channel often are, in some respect or another, and you know, just seeing them interact. I want to see some autists talk with some schizos, and then it actually go pretty amicably, and supporting them, right? Learning from each other and shit like that. I'm about that life, right? So if anybody's interested that watches this, I'll mention it again next stream. Next stream I'll actually have like more in-depth stuff. Right now, like I said, I'm just kind of having fun with this. But yeah. So dumb. That's what I needed to say at the beginning. So dumb. Oh, yeah. It's fun. Check it out. Just the intro. Such a mood. So playful to the music. I love the idea of a home being buried over a cliff. I mean, built over a cliff.
Tales from the crypt.
Yeah, it's such a great voice too. Yeah, the ending credits for each episode would just be a reverse. Yeah. And so then, yeah, you get the Crypt Keeper, it'd be a little vignette, you'd say like, welcome, blah, 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 and all this sort of shit, and like, I have a story for you, kiddies, and, yeah, it was great. Other shows that, kind of took a bit of inspiration from that were for kids, oh god, this intro was so bad, was the Goosebumps. Goosebumps had like a kid's Tales from the Crypt. A much better one was Are You Afraid of the Dark, which was on Nickelodeon. I was a big fan of that. Not so much Goosebumps, except for one particular movie, which is The Haunted Mask. They did a pretty damn good job with that one. Looked different. They changed the face, but I think they did a pretty decent job in a lot of ways. But anyway, what else we got?
George Romero.
I totally went off. I told you.
And Stephen King.
With Creepshow, essentially, it was a movie in that kind of style, inspired by
together, giving us ultimate horror comic anthology brought to life. EC Comics meets Saturday night cable and Saturday morning cartoons. Basically, colorful, campy, creepy, two legends behind it in the horror genre. Twisted tales of comeuppance and cosmic justice, all led by the Creep.
Yeah.
It's like,
where's my cake? Where's my cake?
Tales from the Crypt hit the big screen. This movie is just a piece of horror history with Now, at number 14,
it was weird too, because one of the stories in it has the guy from, I forget his name, but the actor from Naked Gun and Naked Gun 1.5 and all those like the comedies, like the goofy fucking movies. The Naked Gun movies. He played like a villain in this one. He did a decent job too.
Dirty, horrifyingly real. Tobe Hooper turned a low-budget nightmare into an art form of pure fear.
If you've never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, big recommend. It has some amazing stuff in it. It's a little slow to wind up, but some of the shots and the setups and everything, fucking incredible. Right, a lot of sort of like show not tell kind of shit in there. What's interesting is a lot of people, when they saw this movie, they were like freaked the fuck out, right? Especially in 1974. This movie was fucking like, people were like, this shit should be rated X. It's too fucking intense and violent and crazy. And what was one of the weirdest things about this movie is that a lot of people that came out of watching it when they asked them about the movie, they would describe it like they would describe all this gore and all this like blood and guts and all this shit, right? There really isn't much gore at all in this movie, like at all. It's it's mostly some blood, but the gore is like super. There's barely anything, but the movie was so terrifying and just captured everyone's imagination, like their nightmares, that like people were just like literally they're just like imagining stuff, or if something was implied, they probably like closed their fucking eyes and just like imagined what was going to be shown or what was going to happen, and they imagined all this like horrible shit, right? But the movie itself, it's more it has more like just of an aesthetic, like a scenery. It's the scenery and the highly oppressive nature of like the environment. That's what made it really good. My favorite sequence being the zoom ins on the eyeball as she's like looking around, like you could see, like they did such a great sequence of like showing a person essentially losing their fucking mind due to the like the trauma of being in the situation they were in. Right? It's just it was pure insanity. What made it interesting too is well, this is like more behind the scenes shit, but like a lot this was a low budget fucking movie, and a lot of the people in the movie, they were fucking like they were dehydrated. The weather was terrible. It was hot, gross. So everyone was just like hot and miserable, and it really captured the whole thing, right? The guy who plays Leatherface, making pig sounds and shit. Like, dude, that guy was like, he was like doing some wild ass like character acting or whatever, but like supposedly because of the suit and because of the mask, like he smelled like just he was rank, the dude, and he like went full fucking character actor for this thing, but he smelled, and so like even the sequences where he's grabbing her and stuff, and like he's all sweaty and gross. Like some of the people in these scenes, they're like genuinely terrified.
Low budget
like
nightmare.
This right here, this is one of the most
art form of pure.
Wait, did they show? Oh yeah, that sequence where he grabs her, it's terrifying because like she sees something, she fucking does what anybody would, right? Like fuck, run! Like her brain went run, but fucking he catches her. Like she run, and the way he catches her, it's just like you're out. She got out, but nope.
Dirty, horrifyingly real. Toby Hooper turned a low-budget nightmare into an art form.
Like getting out the door and just getting pulled back in. Like it's wild.
Sound of the chainsaw echoing throughout film history. It's not an experience of terror. You can practically feel the heat and smell the sweat and fear coming off of this movie.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, it's a really good flick. Really good. A lot of people just like that watch it, they don't really get it. They're like, oh, how come everyone made it sound like, oh, it's a crazy gory movie? So they missed the whole point. Oh, the original Texas Chainsaw was incredible, yeah.
Kind of have to separate this one off of lists with
the sequels are all shit. Fuck all the sequels. Well, except for the actual sequel. That one was just unhinged and funny. I like it for entirely different reasons. Oh, part 3, I mean. I think it was part 3, the unhinged one. But the remakes, man, they were just fucking they just turned into like they literally turned it into what people were imagining in their head. Like, so they made it actually really gory, actually really like in your face violence, right? They left nothing to the imagination. And that kind of just like that's not why the first one was great.
Or sometimes
it wasn't because, you know, they show the person's guts fall out and everything.
But there is no doubt that this movie is really a 1979.
Oh, Alien, yeah.
Alien,
yeah, of course.
Wet.
That's what's crazy about Alien. The original Alien was a horror film. That was sci-fi horror, straight up. And then the sequel turned into more like an action horror film. And then by the third one, I don't like the third one. It was like trying to be horror again, but it was also trying to be like it didn't know what the fuck it wanted. And then the fourth one was just goofy. I appreciate it for what it is it's fun and it's campy. But yeah, nothing beats the original Alien as far as being just like straight up horror. There is no like, it isn't like horror. No, it's pretty much just horror with some like instead of a slasher, we're talking about like a fucking xenomorph. We're talking about a thing you can't even reason with, you can't even talk to, you can't do anything about. It's essentially you're being chased down and hunted by like a larger than human sized insect. With a high degree of intelligence.
And dripping horror with a biomechanical nightmare at the end, and Sigourney Weaver, real Texan cinema history, Alien comes in at number
Alien
1980. And an underrated...
The Fog. Okay, so this one's interesting. The original Fog, great. The remake was fucking ass. What made the original Fog cool was what made the Fog cool was like the cool like it was low budget, but the actual outfits they wore when they walked around,
it's eerie, it's beyond dark,
like essentially it was cool because like what would happen is this fog was rolling into the town, right? But along within the fog were like these like fucking like dead like sailors that were just out for blood, but they were like zombies and shit, like ghosts. They're more like specters, like zombie specter things. But it was cool because like you had to run from the fog, because with the fog came death, right? These things would essentially come like drag you into the fog, where it was almost like a moving portal, right? Like a portal to some other fucking hell dimension or something. But it was like in the medium of like a smoke just rolling in. It's scary because you couldn't see shit, and all you know is fucking nothing but death in there, right? And they weren't like stoppable, they weren't killable in any conventional way. Like shooting them and stuff wasn't working. So like there was like literally like nothing you can do to stop them until obviously they figure that stuff out. But then again, the remakes, it just turned into like over the top, like slash. It turned more into just a straight up slasher.
The Fog is more like a cold, creepy restarts.
Yeah.
The fog, the atmosphere, everything about it is perfect. The late night DJ,
and they would just stand there all stoically. Like the way they would kill the people wasn't like zombies. Like they would just slowly walk up to you and just fucking shove a fucking like harpoon into you. Like it's just like
trope. This movie is a masterclass in ghost stories. The
like,
Fog comes in at number 12. And Toby Hooper, it's nice. Now Toby Hooper was there too.
Yeah, Poltergeist. I mean, it had to fucking be in here.
Who's officially the director. As a Spielberg guy, I see Spielberg movie here, 100%.
Yeah.
It's glossy, but it's heartfelt, suburban horror. It makes you afraid of your television. You're safe.
Dude, so many kids got fucked up watching this movie, like when they shouldn't have. Like, oh my God. It made static in the TV scary.
Little neighbor.
That and later The Ring successfully did that.
Neighborhood, which, let's be honest, was way ahead of its time in that concept. Ghosts, childhood innocence, demon clowns, otherworldly menace, that creepy.
They also did a really cool thing where the beginnings of the movie, like the paranormal occurrences are like small, right? So they kind of fuck around with a little bit of that EVP kind of like, oh wow, isn't this crazy? Like there's like these little like, oh, I think our house has a ghost. Oh, and like one of the characters is really interested, and like they're approaching it in like this kind of almost like this is a learning experience. This is interesting kind of way until like shit just starts hitting the fan. Like
ass tree outside, a healthy dose of 80s Americana. It's why They're Here still gives us chills today. Poltergeist comes in.
There's also a lot of legends surrounding like the set being cursed, similar to Exorcist and all that.
68 horror. This is the castles and
what
curses area that was heaped on this later, really after the fact. Chaos in this black and white beauty.
What made Night of the Living Dead so great is is that the zombies were there with no rhyme or reason. Like it's just a thing that happened, like a force of nature that just sort of appeared. We have zombies, but there's never an explanation in the original as to why. What like there's some things they throw in there about like some radioactive something weird, like there's theories or the scientists are trying to figure it out, but like they never definitively fully explain. And by the end of the movie, well, it also, I don't want to spoil it if you've never seen it, but it has some pretty harrowing sequences. They did this really cool shit where when the zombies were like, eating, they had some of the actors were nude too, and that was like, ooh. But they had and this movie came out in 68, right? Yeah, they could have done it in color. The movie could have been in color, but he wanted it in black and white, kind of save that old school feel. But it worked really well because there was sequences where like the zombies are eating humans, right? But like they're actually like eating, like, I think like meat, like actual like bones and meat, like from the butcher shop raw. They were just biting into it, but it would look like guts and shit, and like, pieces of brain and crap, and they're just like, oh yeah, freak the fuck out of everybody.
Gut punch of an ending in this one.
Yeah.
Modern horror, specifically zombie horror,
And
definitely.
it had a lot of undercurrents about like racism and shit like that. And it was also a pretty big deal because it was like a badass horror hero lead that was like African American. So that was actually pretty very progressive film in many respects.
Starts here, Night of the Living Dead, 1980s. An unforgettable story here, even if Stephen King didn't like it.
Yeah. There's so many, this movie, I could talk about this movie for like 2-3 hours. There is so much crazy shit going on with this movie. And I know maybe you've heard, but there's everything from like the shooting of the film, Kubrick himself, the actors, everything that went through, Shelley Duvall, like fucking all the conspiracies about the movie and what it means and what like, and all the fucking like, it had so much imagery and symbols and crap that the schizos, like, that were a little less like able to keep their shit together, really started like creating entire like scenarios for what the film actually means and represents. It's interesting shit, and there is some really weird shit that Kubrick did with this movie. Same thing with something like Eyes Wide Shut. Like, there is some weird shit. There's some weird shit. The guy was not neurotypical. Kubrick, I refuse to believe Kubrick was neurotypical. That guy was something else. That guy was something else. And what's interesting about him too is that like people talked about Kubrick, how like behind closed doors he was he was a really nice guy that always wanted to present himself as an asshole. He wanted people to think he was like this crazy asshole. But like to some of his confidants, he would like display sincere concern for actors or like people and stuff. But like he was not about like letting people know that. He wanted people to think he was like this kind of grumpy, kind of fucking crotchety, angry, obsessive guy, which he kind of was, but he would hide his like sort of kindness. And that's one thing that makes Stanley Kubrick really interesting to me, especially in the case of The Shining, where he everyone describes, like, I think Shelley Duvall in his relationship is like horrific, right? Because he was like gaslighting her and like all this sort of stuff, and like, but then she had nothing but good shit to say about it, like in reality, because she said that like Kubrick essentially upped her acting game after that movie. She was like she learned so much about herself and all this shit, right? And she fucking stellar performance. But it's funny because they present it like, oh, Shelley Duvall got fucked up by this movie, but like in actual interviews when they would talk to her about the movie, she would say it was hard, but it was worth it, and I learned a bunch of shit. and that like what was interesting is there's a documentary that was shot by his daughter that kind of showed the behind the scenes, but it was like weird because it kind of made Shelley look bad. So I don't know if that was the daughter just, I don't know, being weird or whatever. But there was like sequences in which Kubrick was actually, when he would show like more like empathy and stuff, he specified he didn't want those to be in the documentary. Like he didn't want that stuff. He didn't want that kind of stuff on there. Like he didn't care if it painted him in a like obsessive crazy director light. Like he was cool about that. But he didn't want like the documentary to show like his softer side. Interesting, crazy guy. But yeah.
It is absolutely incredible. I could go on and on about how this movie is shot, how it's filmed. How
Why are you guys here now? That's crazy. I'm about to like wrap up soon here, but for those that just got here, if you haven't seen the new server, join it. There's a new server. It's called the Angsty Divergent, and it's there for just fans of the channel, and people that just want to discuss in good faith shit. And it's kind of like has some of the similar rules from the Zoid Void, which is more of a support server, relatability for schizoids. But like, I want to see interactions between like people that believe in good faith discussion and conversation, and oh hey, what's up, GR003? I want to have good faith discussion and conversation about a variety of topics, and also it's likely going to bring in some like divergent folks. So like, I want to see what a nice, like solid, interesting, good faith conversation between like autists and schizos and ADHDers and stuff like that. That like, they're not looking for drama. They're not looking for all this shit, right? They want to talk about their interests. And that's cool. I want to see some info dumps. I want to see all that shit on that server. That server's exactly for that. Anyway, let me continue here, and then I think I'm gonna wrap up here. Just looking at the different movies. Yeah, Frankenstein, 1931.
When you shop in the Bonds app, you can.
All because I wanted the algo to feed me the top whatever movies, but like without it being influenced by the shit I already watched.
It just be screams in the dark. It's got one of the saddest
kills
ever.
Frankenstein's fucking. It's depressing horror. Frankenstein is depressing. It's obviously it's not scary by today's standards, but it's still very fucking sad.
Girl gets thrown in the water just like a flower because he doesn't know the difference. This movie is kind of foundational. Shout out to The Bride of Frankenstein, which might actually be a better overall movie.
Yeah, that's great.
But I think
Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th is such a good fucking movie. Everyone knows about Jason. Jason Voorhees, Jason, Hockey Mask, Jason. The Hockey Mask didn't even come until like the third movie. And people just liked it a lot. And then it just turned into like, capitalism and just kept churning out fucking trash can Jason movies for the most part. All right. But what I was saying about Friday the 13th is the original film, it didn't even really have Jason in it. It was about his mother. It was essentially just a story of a like grieving mother that just went batshit crazy because her child, which was special needs, essentially was bullied and treated like shit, and eventually leads to like a prank or something that gets the child killed. And the whole movie is actually about the mother and her like, grief-stricken, revenge-seeking, delusional type deal. right? You don't even get to see Jason almost at all, and when you do, it's like one of the most fucking scary sequences in like horror film history. And then with the sequels, the second one was fine, the third one was fine, but like it turned more about Jason himself, right? That's when the horror icon, the Friday the 13th, right? Everyone just pictures Jason. And it's just funny because like the original film, which I think is incredibly good,
but it
barely any Jason to be found.
Works. Once Jason puts on the hockey mask in a couple sequels away, horror icon was born era, and we love that. It is favorite franchise.
Yeah, see, everyone talks about the franchise. Like, okay, I get it, but as a standalone film, Friday the 13th is fucking great. It's a great standalone flick. And it had a cool, like, subversion thing going on, right? Where you didn't have a lot of you didn't really have a lot of female slashers.
That's why it's here. It's essential with the one that started it all, Friday the 13th.
I mean, Sleepaway Camp's another example, but that movie's that movie's fucking something else for other reasons.
13th.
For shock.
Now, at number 6, we go back to 1960 with
It's crazy though, now that I think about it. There's two like camp slasher horror movies that both have really like intense fucking like gut punch fucking endings.
Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho.
Yeah,
Through the
classic.
movie, no audience was comfortable ever again, and of course, no shower was ever relaxing.
Again, another movie that didn't have to be in black and white, but just worked incredibly well.
It's horror precision engineered by Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Tension, shock, unforgettable score. Should I do it again? Without Psycho, there's maybe no Halloween again here. A forerunner, no Scream, modern horror. This one pushed the boundaries. Yep. It still holds up today. Psycho comes.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's a lot older than it really is. And that's a testament. That's a testament to Hitchcock. Like, making that shit work. What else we got?
Killer.
Nightmare on Elm Street again.
Year.
It sucks what happens. They turn into franchises, right? I'm not really a big fan of the franchise. They're fun. I'll watch them. They have some fun sequences, right? But again, another amazing example. Nightmare on Elm Street. Same fucking thing. The original did not have a bunch of humor in it. Freddy wasn't making a bunch of quips and jokes yet. He was just fucking scary. He was just fucking scary. Like, he was a dude that, like, killed a bunch of kids, and then the town burned him alive, and his soul essentially, like, is, like, haunting people's dreams, and if he kills you in the dream, you get the wounds in real life and die. Like, what a fucking horrifying, scary fucking concept. And, there was some transformations with him, but, like, they weren't as crazy as the later movies where he turned in like worms and shit. Like in the original, like you had like a good sequence. Like let's see, just to give you an example of, like, everyone thinks of Freddy Krueger and they think like funny guy. Oh, Freddy Krueger's so funny. He did not start. He had a little bit of like wit, but and I'm not saying I don't love later Freddy Krueger. It's funny. Like, part 3, the Dream Warrior, or part 4, Dream Warriors, was one of the fucking funniest movie I've ever seen. Like horror movies. It's just fucking hilarious. But Krueger walking down alley. Is it the second alley? Yeah. Here we go. This is like Tina's death.
Uber Eats knows you crave Crunchwrap Supremes when the game
like
goes into crunch time.
He had
so get a
humor
free
to him.
Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco.
But it was more like psychotic, like a fucking psychopath type humor. Like he's enjoying, like he's getting off on like just terrifying these people. Yeah, let's skip ahead a little bit.
Tina.
It actually was like one of Johnny Depp's earliest.
Who the hell is that?
I'm skipping ahead because I got cool ass music. And the point of nightmares with Krueger is like you didn't know. Like the whole idea was like you're trying to stay awake because you don't want to, but then like they would sometimes like seamlessly like go like oh, I'm awake, and you think the character's still awake, but in fact they did fall asleep. And once he's got you, unless somebody externally wakes you up, you're kind of fucked. Like something has to externally wake you up. Yeah, the sparks on the paws.
Please, God.
He's like a predator hunting, like playing with its food.
Is God.
Yeah, see, he was more like, yeah, like he's just playing with his food. And he was like completely like enjoying the fact that essentially in the nightmare world he gets to like play God. Right? That's why I said I'm God, because like yeah, when you're in his world, he fucking you do a lot of crazy shit.
Watch this.
Like he's just enjoying torture.
Open the door! Get me!
You have to like pour cold water on him or something. That's scary shit. That's not like ha ha. Crazy. Like that was where's the funny, like he wasn't doing funny jokes the whole time. He did a little goofing around, but it was to like legitimately scare the fuck out of her before he murders her. Like it's... Freddy Krueger was not always funny haha man. That's all I'm saying. People don't know this stuff.
Later, he turns your safe space, your home, your bed, your dreams into a nightmare.
Yeah, you
and
can't
Craven's
bring
masterpiece here.
I mean, you can't kill him with guns. You can't do anything to him, really, like for the most part. There's specific things. You have to find his corpse. Like it's this whole thing.
Was that he took the win inescapable from Michael Myers, you a nightmare on 4 movies ever made for a lot.
Exorcist. Yeah, I mean, do I have to talk about The Exorcist? Come on. Like, fucking great movie.
And that
like,
makes it.
The way it fucks with theology, philosophy, like faith, the idea of faith, what it means, like all the shit, right? Like great, fucking awesome music, everything. Yeah, but I don't give a fuck what the normies think. Fuck normies. They're stupid. When it comes to stuff that they don't know about. I don't give a fuck. But but honestly, the stuff that people like about Krueger later, like his goofy shit, it's fun. I'll admit it. And that's only because Robert Englund was superb. If Robert Englund couldn't pull off like the humor, they just would have been shit movies. Well, they think he's a joke because they turned him into a joke. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't original. When that first Nightmare on Elm Street came out, people did not think he was a joke. People thought that movie was terrifying. People saw that movie and they were having nightmares about him. No one thought it was funny. No one watched Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, and went like, wow, man, that movie's funny. Dude, that guy's so funny. Like, no. They were like, this guy's a fucking psycho that can kill me in my dreams. And they're like having nightmares about that fucking poor girl like floating up to the ceiling covered in blood. Like, what? 1-800 come on now? Dude, Withers, why do you like to fight me on shit you know nothing about? Like, that's like your favorite pastime. That's your favorite pastime, Withers. Oh, you fucking contrarian. Anyway, but no, the original Nightmare on Elm Street was not a funny movie. It was, the sequels got progressively funny because the people liked the character, and so then they started focusing more on the character and building the character and making him like, you know, well, say funny jokes and shit. Yeah, I know you were, but yeah. Anyway,
even more terrifying.
Exorcist 2, terrible. What else? The Thing. You just gotta watch it, and it's another Carpenter film. With the original, they weren't getting into it heavy. They were just like, this is a scary fucking movie. Same thing with Friday the 13th. It was just, this is a scary fucking movie. This is a crazy movie. Like, it was honestly, it's studios and money making that kind of turned them into jokes over time. Like, the original Child's Play is not funny. He has a few like moments, but no, like fucking Chucky's creepy, dude. Chucky's fucked up. Like, you know, this fucking little guy that's like fucking, you can come out of your fucking, like, under your table and just fucking cut your fucking tendons. Like, fucking slash your fucking heel and just start stabbing you in the face with a little pocket knife. Like, dude, it's just, and that thing too, people forget, Chucky, like, he's a little doll or whatever, so you can throw him and shit, but he was durable as fuck. And on top of, like, crazy durable. And on top of that, like, he didn't have the, he as the movie progressed, he gets like, he gets stronger, like, because he's becoming more flesh. So he's got muscles. Like, it's not like he's, it isn't as easy as just like pulling like some fucking cotton doll. He had heft to him, especially as the movie progressed. But because that was the whole point, he needed to get the fuck out of that doll at any cost.
Best, unquestioned best practical effects ever put on film.
Yeah, I didn't see the remake or whatever, but like, in my opinion, why do you need a remake? It's already a masterpiece. Child's Play is a masterpiece. Enough said. Like, why does anything that's already like top tier need a remake? Makes no sense to me. Just go make another scary movie. That's my opinion.
It's a creature feature with a trust experiment kind of rolled into one.
So good.
Isolationism, paranoia, with effects that still just hold up to.
Yep, just fucking the last hurrah of the days of practical effects. Oh god, Carpenter practical effects were incredibly good. You know what? I gotta cut it, guys, because it's gone too long. But anyway, after that, you got Jaws, Halloween. I wanted to talk about Halloween too. Okay, maybe another time. In any case, this is more of a chill thing. I wanted to talk about these sort of things and interests. As you, in the last stream, somebody asked me about my interests in movies and shit. But in any case, thanks a lot. If you enjoy the channel, the streams, whatever the fuck else, please join my Patreon, PayPal. It's always really helpful. If you have a job you want to give me, I'll take that too. All right, man. And as usual, when day is dark, always remember happy day, but sometimes also get fucking mad.